Alright, I don't really know how to start this, but yeah, Misha Charoudin, as you might have seen, is driving in the NextGen Cup this weekend at the famous Nürburgring. Now, we're not using the full loop, obviously. However, Misha has kindly offered to take me for a lap around the Nordschleife. And while we do that, we got the great idea to, well, shoot Misha some quick-fire questions, 20 of them to be exact. Yeah, haven't told Misha yet, sure he will be happy with that. If I am, I don't really know.
Well, thank you for joining me. It's great having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, least I could do as saying thank you for inviting me again to NextGen Cup.
Unbelievable. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
But looking at my phone is not going to be a good idea at the moment.
I don't think so.
So we're just going to do an interview off the bat.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's great to have you back in the NextGen Cup. Jesus Christ. What made you come back from last year?
For me, NextGen Cup is one of the best racing series because the focus is the driver improvement. Of course, competition is also important, but becoming a better driver is the goal. And I learned a lot in a few days that I spent with you guys. And so that was, of course, the goal. I mean, although I have quite over a decade of experience in motorsport, but every day is a school day because every car is different, every race series is different. And that was fantastic. But that aside, we have also a phenomenal team.
Yeah.
That makes me really feel at home, basically. You know, I mean, as mentioned, I'm doing this over 10 years, and there are lots of brand series and you name it that I have a chance to work with. But sometimes, even if the brand is good, but the team behind it is really worthless, I don't want to do anything with it. So, having said that, with you guys, I mean, the series is great, the cars are amazing, the driving time is a lot, and people behind really care about everyone and everything. So that was fantastic. Answering questions while doing 275 through the compression, that's not too bad.
No, that's not too bad at all. Jesus, this is this is awesome. Of course, I know it from the sim. I'm a massive sim driver myself. I commentated on sim racing before I went to real life. I want to know your view on how on how you think sim racing is going to impact the future of racing.
A lot. I mean, first of all, you see my teammates in the GT4 with Bilstein and Black Falcon. Their background is sim racing, so Jamie and Steve, they're very great sim racers who, without saying anything bad, I mean, they came from nothing and also together, well, myself included, and made a career out of sim racing and following by the real racing.
Yeah.
If we take also one of the world's greatest sim racers in the world, Max Verstappen, who happens to be a weekend driver in F1, I think that shows that sim racing is definitely something that can contribute to become a better driver development, but also not only from the basic skills to see how the car reacts, what the physics, because honestly, as of today, with all the modern cars, everyone is not a driver but a steering wheel attendant. Everyone is missing the basics of how the car reacts when it understeers, oversteers, if there's a lack of grip, you name it. So you can learn these fundamentals in sim racing, and moreover, you can practice your skill because certain things in real life, to try them out, can be very expensive, either because, well, driving a car is expensive already with all the consumables, but if you crash, it gets even more expensive. So you see now finally that a lot of by some interesting sim racers who made it to real life. Yeah, so long story short, it's a fantastic thing. And now that the sim racing is becoming even more in depth, because I mean, what, 10 years ago you had the introduction of 4-speed back, of direct drive steering wheels. Now you have active pedals that simulate ABS or loss of traction. So those things will contribute even further for becoming better drivers, even though that many of today's even race cars become numb and autonomous. And well, I mean, NextGen Cup is actually completely opposite example of that, because then you do not have ABS, traction control, you name it. And every microscopic difference really affects the car. Whereas here we are, in this car, we would maybe notice differences in 0.1 bar tire pressure. There you would be speaking about 0.01 bar tire pressure, because the car is relatively, well, not that fast, so therefore you need to really balance all the microscopic inputs, whether it's brake bias, tire pressures, and you name it. And yeah, I'm kind of circling back to NextGen Cup here, but this is why the cars and the series are so fantastic, because we put so many things to practice, and every small details and inputs in the setup change, you feel as a driver. And the other good thing is that every setup and data is being shared with everyone else on the field, so you can see, you can try someone else's setup if that's going to suit you, maybe not. So then you cannot say like, oh, that guy's is running 0.2 degrees cap or more, and that's why he's faster than me, blah blah blah. You can try the same setup.
There we go. I'm gonna jump.
Yep, little bit of jump. Yeah, so anyway, a very long answer to your.
Yeah, I think you answered many of my questions in one answer there. Jesus, this is crazy. I think for the rest of the lap, I think we're just gonna enjoy you drive and do your thing.
Right. There's not much left, but.
One final question that I would have is, you were here last year, you learned a lot, you also saw that these young drivers are nothing to be messed with, they're very talented.
Yes.
As you expected, I mean, you're a very talented driver yourself, obviously.
Not as talented.
No, not as talented.
But he had the yellow sticker, so it's my mistake.
Yeah.
He had the rookie sticker. Anyway, you were saying, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously very talented. Where do you see yourself this year on the grid, taking what you learned from last year into this year? Where do you see yourself at the end of this weekend?
Actually, last year already, I was finishing like in free practices and qualifying in the first races, somewhere in the back, and towards like last race, I was, I think, at some point like P6 in a fully wet and cold conditions with zero grip. So I think it was not too bad versus people who have lots of experience with those cars. But then I think I spun because I got overconfident, and then I lost more positions. But eventually, I think for me that was like most importantly to show the driver progression. This time, based on the FP1 and FP2, I'm somewhere midfield. I think I'm about 1.5 seconds off the fastest person. That's quite a lot, but I'm super satisfied with the fact that, again, it's my first time in the car after a year, and those people have been already, how many races you had already this season?
We had 2 rounds, and that was 7 races.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, they have like triple the driving experience unless they already have been racing last year. So having said that, I think I'm definitely not too unhappy. Of course, most of these people are quite young, like between 15 to 18.
Yeah.
I think they're half the weight that I am, so they have also a bit of POP, all the driver excuses. But for me, you know, it's really about fun, about learning certain things, and I really want to show others how cool your series is. This is really like no ass-kissing or marketing bullshit. I wouldn't be driving the second time if I didn't like it. I really enjoy it, and I think for how much, like the cost of the series, I believe it's like between 60 to 80,000 euros or something for a season.
Yeah.
It's the amount that you get in terms of driving, sponsors, and all the data knowledge with all the driving engineer, it's like it's almost for free. So when my kid, if he gonna like cars, and if you are doing that still in the next 10-15 years, I'll be definitely making sure that he's going to be driving with you. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much,
All right,
Misha.
thank you. I hope you enjoyed.
I'm still alive. That was amazing. It
Yeah.
was less scary than I expected, gonna be honest. But yeah, it was definitely a very, very, very awesome experience, and I wish you all the best this weekend.
Thank you. I have. What time is the qualifying?
17:45. I think you have an hour or something to get to the track.
Yeah. You were my last passenger, so I think I'll be. That's how I've been doing today the whole time. First I've done the FP1, then I rushed here, done laps of laps, then the car went for refueling, I went to drive FP2, then I was back here, I had 10 more passengers, and yeah, now we go back there, and switching the brain between this rear engine car, rear wheel drive, naturally aspirated into there, so yeah, a bit of computing, but lots of fun.
I'm sure we're going to have another chat somewhere on this weekend, but Misha, thank you very much, it was an awesome experience, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.